I need to see if Jenny has the Jenny Mitich is on today, right?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. It's 6 a.m. on the 8th of September, and we're live from Central Florida here and
Central New York here. Good
thank you
morning,
for being here, everyone.
It's great to see everyone. We're supposed to have Jenny Mitich on today.
Yes.
And let me send the link. Let's see here. Give me a second. Copy. Let's go over here.
Hopefully she'll be on momentarily. I know Alia sent her the link because she copies me.
I just resent it.
This morning, hashtag KMT for, let's see, grass-fed beef liver supplement, a bottle, okay? Let us know where you're coming from, where you're watching, whether you're in the morning, the evening. There we go. Jenny's here.
Hello.
Good morning.
I had brightness on my glasses, so I had to go through my contacts in real quick. That's why I'm late. Sorry.
All right. Good to have you here, Jenny.
Yes.
And
perfect timing, as they say.
Where is it that you're coming from?
Chicagoland.
Today? Chicagoland. Okay.
Yeah, we're home.
We won't have Alia this morning here.
Can't be here then. Well, we've got the most impressive Jenny Mitich, who has got a new book coming out, if it's not out yet. And we're excited about that. And we got amazing Dr. Nelson Vasquez. And we're on live. I've got Instagram live. I got Kill Sweaty Tribe live. And we've got YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and a few others. I don't know what they all are. But
we have a long list of things. Alia has been working with the team hard in putting up more channels.
Alia is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, she is amazing. And it's hashtag KMT for grass-fed. What we got here? Organ meat supplements. And
for the whichever, the organ fed or the liver.
Okay, either one.
Let's do the organ. It's a multiple organs. I like that. I take those when I remember to take.
Kill, should I stream this to my audience too?
Oh yes, 100%.
Please. Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Everyone should stream this to their audience, by the way. We should all be streaming to our audiences, because the more we share this, the better in the world will be, because we're just sharing an idea. And the more each of us here shares, because that's what this is about, sharing.
Very true. Very true.
So on my own channel, I put I put the title I have given you.
Oh, the Queen of Testing. Yeah.
I changed it a little bit today. I put the Tracking Queen.
I love that. Yeah. It's funny, Nelson, because I'm going to get blood work and DEXA scans tomorrow. So
okay.
Well, I got my CAC-CT angiogram last week.
Oh, you did it?
Wow. You have the results?
Sort of.
Okay.
Not complete yet. I've got them, but I've still got to get my get them AI evaluated. Because. So I'll have more information soon.
Yeah. Didn't you get a CAC score a long time ago?
So 2.5 years ago, it was 690, and then the second result, like a month later, was 700.
That's not much of a change. That's nothing.
But what does it mean?
Means you have some calcified plaque, Kilts, but you know, it is what it is.
So when I had my shoulder rotator cuff, what was it? I can't remember what they call it, but I couldn't even move my arm, right?
Okay.
Your calcific tendinitis.
Thank you very much. I couldn't move it. And then the guy did an x-ray. He said, I've never seen so much calcium everywhere in your body.
Huh, interesting.
What does that mean? What does that do to my CAC score? What does that do to my CT angiogram? What if I've got calcium everywhere?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, calcified plaques typically are more stable than the soft. I'm really I want to see what would you get a CCTA?
Yeah, he got a CTA and he's waiting for the AI over reading.
That one will be interesting. I'd like to see what that is.
I've got I let me see if I've it's interesting. But I'm waiting to get a little more information before I reveal. We'll have a Kilts reveal.
I think that's smart. Kilts reveal. I love it.
You know, we're all going to die, and we're going to die as something. And when and how we die, have we been able to predict when and how someone's going to die in modern medicine?
No. I think the key is just health and longevity, health span, not lifespan, and you are the epitome of it. So I think you're doing great.
That's what I say every day. Again, none of us know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think the most important part is maybe it's happy span, a peace span, right? Joy of lifespan, right? Because the diseases are rampant around the world because the plants and the microbes want to make us fertilizer, and they do a very good job at that.
That they do. Yeah, my main concern, I don't care how long I live. I mean, I wish I lived forever. I always wanted to be a vampire when I was a young child, but I want to be healthy. For real. I know I'm a weirdo. I just want to be healthy. I want to be able to hang out with my kids and keep up with them to a degree and not be achy and do all of the things I want to do until the day I die. That's my ultimate goal.
All right. So were we talking about anything specific this morning, Jenny? Did you have a particular subject you wanted to bring up?
Man. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, we can talk about whatever the heck you want. You know me. I can chat about whatever.
Well, we have a couple of questions already. Let's do that. And
it is very early. I made a special alarm for you guys because I love you so much.
Because you're in Central Time, so it's 5:08 over there.
Yeah.
All right.
My kids are with the in-laws because I didn't want them to wake up and be like,
We were excited to see them.
Oh, don't worry. You'll see them at some point.
No Car Barb asks, hi, Jenny. It's so great to see you here. What is the one test? See, they know you because of your testing.
Yes.
The one test that you would run for your data experiment if it were less expensive, more accessible. So I guess which one would you prefer?
I would love to run a full body MRI. That would probably be my first one, but that is cost prohibitive and hard to get. And then my second, I would love to do a CCTA. I did a CAC when I was like 39. I have heart disease in my family, so I was able to get it a little bit early. And it was a 0 as expected, but I would love to do a CCTA. But again, cost prohibitive and hard to get. And Barb, I love you. And I will be messaging you later today with dates so we can record. I've been overwhelmed with stuff and I love you.
Barb is great.
She is wonderful.
All right.
Well, what percentage of people in their 30s have heart disease.
Oh, it's very, very, very low. It can happen. It can happen.
Right. And then how about 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s?
It goes up as you get older because it takes decades for that to happen. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. The reason I got it done, Kiltz, was because it was at my 9-month mark of carnivore, and so many people believe the myth that carnivore will cause plaquing. So I wanted to have a baseline. I pretty much knew it was going to be 0, but I'm really interested. I didn't know if I was going to stay on the diet long term, but at least now I have that data point. So 3 more years from now, at the 5-year mark, I'm going to do another one just to show the people. I'm pretty confident it's going to be 0, but I like to show the data.
Well, and mine was 600.
Right.
At 68.
When did you get that done?
2.5 years ago. And my father had heart disease, who had 5-vessel bypass. He lived to 94.
Right.
My grandmother lived 104, his mother. And it is an interesting thing, because how many people that die at 95 have evidence of heart disease?
I mean, almost all of them, especially if they're eating a normal diet. But Kiltz, a lot of that calcification could have come from the years that you ate a different diet. You've been carnivore now for what, 15?
15.
And you don't have a number from before. So that's your new baseline. And the fact that it didn't move but 10 points, that's nothing. Literally, you're going to have a range, just like with anything. It's stable. It's fine. You can't figure out what caused it, but I mean, you're the epitome of health. So for you, it wouldn't be something I worry too much about,
Worry.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
I know he doesn't. I know he doesn't. And that's good. I don't want you to be, losing sleep over this, because it's not worth it to do.
No. But it's very interesting, because back to what test do we know? I agree with you, by the way, in a whole body MRI or CT, MRI, whatever it is. But Dr. Nelson, maybe you could comment on one of the problems of these tests.
The same problem with any test. I mean, they do inform us of some facts that we then translate to some opinions based on statistics, right? But we can never guarantee the individual results will say anything. You had a CAC score of 39, that was 0. That's great. That tells me, looking forward 10 years, that there is very little chance that you're going to have a heart attack. But I couldn't tell you you're not going to die from a heart attack for sure.
For sure.
Because it could still happen, right?
Yeah.
But your risks are certainly very little of that specific cause of death, though.
Right. And that's relative risk for everybody out there. It's not absolute risk, like Dr. Nelson is saying. Like, I could still die from that, but relative risk of 10-year with a 0 CAC just means that I most likely won't. And the thing I like about, I agree with you. Testing, it can only tell you so much. And I feel like sometimes people can get a little dogmatic about it, and then they just want to address the test. And I really think like you should address the person, the symptoms. Are you experiencing any symptoms? That's the important part. Tests can give you some data, but you also have to look at the qualitative, what's going on with you? How are you feeling? And for Kiltz, he's feeling great, So for him, testing, I know he's not really super into testing, and that's okay. He's very healthy. So it is what it is. Like for me, for thyroid stuff, I have fatigue symptoms, and that's my main symptom. So I'm not treating my thyroid panel. I'm treating the fatigue.
Wait a minute. You have 2 children under...
They're going to be 4 in November.
Okay, under 5. A
husband. Still under 4.
Yeah, right. I know.
2 children under 4, a husband, and a very vibrant lifestyle that makes me take about 5 naps a day.
Yes, but you can do those little micro naps. I can't do that, Kilts.
You cannot. You're not
I
allowed to.
can't.
You're a mother.
Well, yeah, and I will agree with you on that. That yeah, I've got a lot of stuff going on, but this is different. This is not normal fatigue because I haven't had it my whole life. Like I didn't have it when the kids were really little. My Hashimoto's started around, oh God, I don't know. The boys were like 18 months old or something. But I will say that I've been doing some things and I am feeling a lot better. My fatigue has improved. I'm at like 70% energy most days, as before I was at like 20. So I'm figuring out some stuff finally.
So you say you're feeling better though. You may still have some
starting to feel better
of those symptoms. So you're ready for the next pregnancy, right?
You're so funny. Yeah. So me and Goran are discussing having another child. We just talked about it yesterday, actually. Like, you know, we kind of do these check-ins. Shut up. No, I'm just like, hey, how are you feeling about it? You know, do you still want to do this? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, yeah, I'm feeling about the same. And I'm like, yeah, me too. So if we decide to do it, we're going to probably get started trying in like November. I'm 41. He's 50. I've never had a hard time getting pregnant, so I don't think that'll be an issue. But thankfully, there's so many people out there that do have an issue with that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It'd be nice to have a little baby. They're so cute.
There's nothing more. I went and saw Julio, and on I don't know what day it is. Saturday.
Today is Monday. Oh, you saw him on Saturday.
It was Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday. Oh my God. He is just like the cutest kid in the universe. Of course.
Of course. He not be. How old is he now?
He's now 7 months.
Oh,
and I just, you know, he just so much fun. We went to the toy store. He had a great time. Obviously, we had a great time. You know, he just wanted to be held.
He just touches stuff. He's like, meh, yeah.
Yeah, no. He just
7 months is so good. They're at the point where they're not like rolling too much yet, and you're not scared they're just going to die. You can just lay them somewhere and they're fine. I love that age. They sleep, eat, and poop. That's it.
And I hadn't seen him in like
hard.
2 months, 3 months almost.
Well, you've been traveling a lot.
Well, he's been in Europe, Italy for a month, and then they came back because his dad's from Italy. They went and visited his family, and that was fun. And so then I've been traveling, and so
yeah.
All right. So I have a question here. Let me quickly take care of this. I don't know if you're asking about individual consultations with me, which you can schedule. You go to drkills.com and all the links are there. Or if you're talking about the coaching course starts the first Wednesday of October. Okay.
That's very exciting. And if she's talking about me, I have not opened up October coaching dates yet, but I will soon. So vague.
But also the coaching course. Where's the link for the coaching course, Dr. Nelson?
At drkills.com. But I have it.
It's top center because someone texted me last night and said, I can't find it. And I didn't either. So we'll send it out. All right. We'll get it out there.
Anyways, we have a question relating to something we were talking about. Let me change this here. So Dr. Kills, Michael Smith asks, doesn't Gary Breck's quote people's life expectancy?
Gary Brecka. Yeah.
What's
Gary Brecka? Yes. So my answer is whatever he's quoting, he's probably wrong.
Anything he's quoting is just going to be an estimate. There's no way you can show that.
There's no way.
He does extensive blood work testing and things like that with his company. He's really big into like red light and cold plunge and all that kind of stuff.
All the biohacks, yes.
Yeah, but there's only so far you can take that. So anyone that's trusting that, I think, don't.
Well, would you bet $1 billion on? Remember, average life expectancy is an average, but nobody is an average. Right. Everyone is a dot on the scattergram, right? And you don't know no one knows which one you are, right?
Yeah.
that's kind of the challenge in this, and you know, our ability. I don't know. You go back to 100 years. Obviously, our life expectancy has improved because of sanitation, and you know, the indoor plumbing, all those sort of things.
Yeah, that is helpful, and I'm very, very happy for it.
Yes.
All right.
Chicago question. All right.
And
Sox or Cubs?
Cubs, baby. North side for life. Goran would say both because he actually lived in Chicago. He was he lived on the, I don't remember which side, south or east. So he liked both. But for me, I always grew up a Cubs fan. My grandma was a Cubs fan, is a Cubs fan.
I like the Cubbies. I was rooting for them that year. They didn't get the championship.
Yeah.
Very
2016 was when they finally got it after however many years. Man, that was a good run. We watched it on TV and we were freaking out. It was like, ah.
All right. So we have a couple of questions here. Go ahead, Dr. Kills. You were going to say something.
I was. Let's see. So one of the other problems with testing, they usually leads to another test or treatment, which has its own risk and complications.
Sure.
So that's always one thing that we have to recognize in medicine. And the leading cause of disease and death is doctor recommended advice.
True.
According.
Regarding testing, and very often we have to ask ourselves, is that test going to help us in something? And very often when we talk about, for example, preventive screenings, most preventive screening tests at the end of the day may not have a great impact on all-cause mortality at a public health level. In other words, might not make a difference, but in the individual case, the test may be appropriate because of other reasons, not just screening. But let me give you an example. Breast screening, breast cancer screening mammograms are recommended. I'm not going to even discuss the recommendations, but I recommend it after a certain age every so often. But if a woman comes with a lump, that's no longer screening. That's a diagnostic test. Let's try to find out what that lump is, which can make a very big difference to the patient herself, you know, or even himself, because it happens in men, by the way.
Yeah. You know, so I don't like to test all willy-nilly. Like, I'm running experiments. I'm doing N of 1 stuff, biohacking and things like that. So I just test the particular markers that I'm looking for to adjust. But I do think that people should be getting at least a fasting insulin, a lipid panel, a comprehensive metabolic panel that has glucose on it, and maybe like a vitamin D and an HSCRP and a GGT once a year, just once a year. You got to know your numbers. There's so many people out there that just do nothing. And then they're so surprised. When they all of a sudden some stuff pops up. With fasting insulin, you can see pre-diabetes for like a decade or two, you know, before you're actually diagnosed.
And it's very interesting because I was talking to someone yesterday, as a matter of fact, about fasting insulin. Can you have, that was his question to me, can you have an elevated fasting insulin with a normal fasting blood sugar?
100%.
And and the answer is for almost 20 years you can.
Yeah. It's the canary in the coal mine. It tells you, oh snap, something's off. I mean, this next question on the screen, you know, what test is most important to get for carnivore? I mean, for carnivore, the ones I just said, I think a basic blood work panel is good, but I would love for you to have something to compare it to. So if you're starting carnivore, get a baseline, or if you have them from the past, you have something to compare to, and then standard lipid panel, fasting insulin, comprehensive metabolic panel will have your glucose, your AST, ALT, electrolytes, and some kidney function numbers. GGT, HSCRP, and vitamin D, I think, are really good places to start. And that's not an expensive amount of tests. We just paid for that with Gorin on Own Your Labs, and we had 2 discount codes. I think it was like $110. Or you could go to your doctor and have them order all of those things. None of them are weird or abnormal.
And how about a liver ultrasound?
I mean, sure, if you think you have fatty liver or...
Well, fatty liver is actually the earliest sign of all those problems.
Sure, visceral fat accumulation.
And so, fatty liver, making fat in the liver is normal.
Sure.
But excessive storage of fat is where the damage begins. It's not the fat that causes the disease. It's the conversion of the sugars and proteins in the liver, and it's the high amount of those that cause the damage. But we use the fatty liver screen as a sign of the problem.
Sure.
And in my sense is liver damage is the first problem, because there's nothing wrong with our insulin and there's nothing wrong with our pancreas. It's the liver's ability to convert amino acids and sugars to fat. And what is a true fasting? If your gut is not empty, you're not doing a true fast.
Right.
So a 20, like an overnight fast, is not a fast. You
No,
need to do
12
it
to
at
14
least
hours.
3 to 5 days.
Yeah. I mean, and also fatty liver, when there's fat depositions on the liver itself, that is not supposed to happen. You could do...
I just want to throw fat. The liver's job is to make fat.
Right.
And so you look at having fat on your body is normal, but the problem is that we eat 3 to 6 meals a day, 24/7, 365, the day you're born, the day you die. I mean, how many people do you know eat no food for 2 to 3 days on a regular basis?
I mean, not normal people.
Right.
Us, we don't. But we're weirdos, Kel.
I'm fasting today, by the way.
Oh, nice.
I fasted also 3 days.
Just for today.
Nice.
You're doing
Gorin
3 days? When was your last meal?
My last meal was noon yesterday. Light.
Okay. All right. Me too. I ate yesterday, so I'm doing at least today.
Yeah, and we're just 5 to 7 in October, and 14 to 21 in January.
All right, we have George Goodenough.
Stay fast.
George Goodenough has a question for you, Dr. Kiltz. When I have inguinal hernia, laparoscopic/mesh repair, what can I expect in the recovery process?
Well, I had 2 days of anesthesia, nausea, and vomiting. I've had 3 hernia repairs. One was the left, and then one was the right and the umbilical, and then I had a redo of the right. I did 1 open, 1 laparoscopic, and then the last one was open also. And just some local pain and discomfort for a few days. I mean, I had that for a few days, and that was about it. I was up doing most of my normal stuff in a couple of days. So, but I occasionally get a little bit of because the second time on the right, the guy like really laid into the stitches. So I get a little bit occasional, well, it's still there. I got it. And, but it's not moving.
Did you have local or general anesthesia?
Oh, I had general. Put me to sleep. I don't want to watch it. I don't care.
Take a little nap.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. But again, to get really deep in there, because they have to get deep in there and put those stitches in, they can be a little uncomfortable.
but I've had them for a long time, and finally it was just like, okay, I'm just going to get this fixed because it was causing a little bit of bowel herniation, and that has risks of bowel. It could become necrotic and things like that. So I had it worked on.
All right. Michael Smith asks, why is it so expensive to get MRI? Just read about Canadian couple getting MRI in China. Walked in, paid $500, and got results the same day, printed out. Now I'm gonna take a stab at this. Actually, Jenny, answer first.
I mean, I think that's just a consequence of our modern conventional medical system. Everything's really, really expensive. I have seen online, there's a couple of companies out there. It was at Preventive and a few others where you can do one, but I looked it up and it's still pretty expensive. It was like $2,000 or something like that.
Well, I think it has to do with the technology. It's not a simple technology, right?
Yeah, it's a huge machine.
So that's one thing. Number two, it doesn't say what test this particular person had. Here in the United States, I can do an MRI anywhere from $200 to $1,000, depending on what is it that, I used to do a lot of pain management, used to order a lot of MRIs. I can find a company to do a lumbar spine MRI for $200. You have to look around, but yes, they can be done. And other people charge $500 to $1,000 to a couple of thousand even for the same test.
So does the price depend on the interpretation and the amount of area that's being scanned?
No, it really depends on free market coverage, insurance coverage, whether or not you have insurance coverage. They'll be charging the insurance $2,000 for sure.
Right.
Oh, $10,000.
They're not going to get $2,000 from the insurance company, but that's another story. But yeah, it varies. Mostly has to do with competition.
I think what Jenny is really focusing on, and you mentioned about own your own labs, really what we're doing here is we want everyone to control their own health care, what they're doing, how they're doing it. And really we should be handing out an MD degree to everyone, right? We should be creating the first 2 years of medical school online for everyone.
Yeah.
Which everyone should have access. And then the clinical part of it, which really is 99.9% of people can learn this and do it.
Maybe we can create the Kills Health medical school.
There you go. It'd probably be much better than a conventional medical school. That's for sure. It won't be funded by big pharma.
But again, I agree with what Jenny's doing. And maybe again, we'll put on Kills Health a link. We already have, I think, a link for Own Your Own Labs, but get your own testing. And we'll sign off on all of them. And that's where we want to give power to everyone in all of this. And that's kind of tell us why you're doing this, Jenny. What gets you so inspired to learn this and share all of this?
Before you answer, Jenny, one last comment on the MRI. The MRI you were talking about, though, was a specific MRI, basically a body composition.
Correct.
Basically whole body scan. That one will be probably more expensive because we are having. So that one depends on what you're checking. And when you do a whole body scan, it's more expensive than just a section.
Exactly.
But go ahead and Dr. Kiltz just asked you the question.
Yeah. So the reason that I'm doing this, well, the first is curiosity. I am a very curious person. I love reading. I love learning. It's very fascinating to me. I am not a person that's ever bored. There's always something to learn. The second one is education. So when I started the carnivore diet, I was dying to know what it would do to my blood work. And there was nothing out there. There's a ton of stuff now. So I had to learn all of this stuff on my own. And I just, a lot of people, most people, I would argue, don't have time to do the kind of deep research that I'm doing. So I just try to share as much as I can, learn it, no gatekeeping, not behind a paywall or anything like that. Just, watch my videos and you'll hopefully learn something. The third reason is it's fun. I love doing these little N of 1 experiments and biohacking and figuring stuff out. Because when I get the blood work results back or the DEXA scan results, sometimes they're very surprising. They're not what I expected. And that's science. You have a hypothesis, you do the experiment, you get the data, and you have to, what's the result? I always learn something from that too. So it's kind of a trifecta for me.
I think you're going to be the first dean of the Kilt's Health medical school system, which basically is giving power to everyone.
Yeah.
And I think this idea that we should have a link, order this, and this for everyone, and then get a chance to talk to a medical healthcare coach, right? Which I had a really great talk with Nick Norwitz the other day, and Nick, he's not going to do a residency. No. He's just going out to share his advice and ideas and citizen scientists, right?
Yep. I think that's the best use of his talent at this point. He has, I think, 2 medical degrees. He is an excellent communicator. I subscribe to his Substack, and those articles do deep dives into the scientific literature, and I always learn something. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. I will say on Own Your Labs, Dave Feldman just rolled out a beta program where you can build a package of tests for people, and it's linked to a QR code. So you could go on and set up, here's some blood work, basic blood work you can get done, build that package, put that QR code on your website. People can just scan it and get that package. And then I think in the future, there will be an option where they can just share their results with a person, with a doctor or something like that. So that's something you could look into if that was something you wanted to do.
What's been the most alarming blood work you've had?
That's a really good question. My blood work is always really, really good. But I did have some weird results after I was trying to do the Feldman protocol is what it's called. You eat really high fat, really high calorie for 3 days before a standard lipid panel and see what happens. And it's very interesting. All of my results, it definitely worked for me. Your LDL, triglycerides, particle number, all of that stuff drop. Your HDL goes up. Just very interesting stuff. So yeah, that was a bit surprising.
Well, why?
Why did it happen? Because you're providing an abundance of food to your system, food and fat to your system. So the LDL particles, they're not needed as much to supply triglycerides, fatty acids, and things like that. So they can go back to the liver. So that's why all that stuff is fine. Where's
VLDL produced?
Liver.
Liver. Where chylomicrons produced?
That's food related.
In the gut.
That's the gut, right? Yeah. So nobody eats high fat. So that means the liver must continually pour out VLDL, which then creates LDL and HDL. Yeah. And so when you eat fat, it goes directly to the lymphatics via chylomicrons. It goes right to the tissue. So you're not making all those things, right?
Right.
So that's why, but it always goes back to, is lipid science or snake oil to sell a drug?
Oh,
I wonder. Yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts? You have any?
No, I agree. I mean, I think if you're looking at the old guard lipidologists, they're always pointing to LDL cholesterol as the boogeyman, and it's not. When I look at a lipid panel, I'm looking at triglycerides first and then HDL. I don't even look at LDL.
What disease do they cause?
Oh, it doesn't cause, it's not causal in anything. Well, high triglycerides are an issue because that's fat in your blood and you don't want that to be over 100. That can be an issue, but LDL it's not causal in anything. Now, the old guard lipidologists would argue with you to kingdom come, but a lot of them are bought and paid for by the statin industry. So of course they're going to do that. Their bread and butter comes from that.
Even when you have, and this is the difference between the old and newer paradigm of looking at this, because why are doctors treating high LDL at the drop of a hat? I just had someone who had a very mild elevation of LDL, and the doctor called me and put me on a statin. They're trying to treat that, and even if they don't rationalize it this way, we're trying to decrease the risk of the atherosclerosis and what that causes, right? The ultimate event of heart attack or stroke, which is caused most of the time, not only by atherosclerosis. So that's the risk we are trying to avoid. So when your LDL is high, then why don't you try to determine first if you have that condition or not? Because
but I think the reason they're treating it is because they have a drug that can lower LDL. That's the point. And the problem, though, when taking a statin is it causes more calcification, and their whole rationalization for this is like, oh, but the calcified plaque is more stable. Taking statins can also increase your risk for insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, which is a causal factor in cardiovascular disease. So it's insidious and it's a problem. LDL cholesterol is not what you should be targeting. I always look at triglycerides. That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, okay. So fat in the blood is normal.
To a degree, but if you have triglycerides over 150 and you're eating a carnivore diet, that's a problem.
But if
as long as there's other markers to go along with it,
right. To go along with it. And I mean, what is the purpose of triglycerides?
I mean, triglycerides, it's energy. It's energy to your cells. But in an overabundant situation where you also have elevated fasting insulin, elevated fasting glucose, and elevated HSCRP, your GGT is high, your vitamin D is low, your HDL is low, you're not losing weight, and you have a lot of visceral fat. That's lipotoxicity. And at that point, there's specific things you have to do.
Well, see, this is an interesting one. Do lipids, are they toxic? Is fat toxic in our body?
Not in and of themselves. We have to have them. There's a reason. It's a beautiful system if your body is working correctly. But if you've been eating a standard American diet for decades, your metabolism and your overall metabolic health might be out of whack. What's
the leading cause of death in the world besides doctor-directed?
Yeah, right. I don't know. Is it cardiovascular disease?
Cardiovascular.
Yes.
Yeah.
And number 2 is cancer. Number 3 is doctors.
But I guess the question comes: is a carnivore diet increase your lifespan?
There's no way to prove that.
We don't know that. That's something that we haven't shown. But what do you think is the biggest value of a carnivore diet?
Oh man, so I mean, for the general population, most are insulin resistant or at least on their way. It's beautiful. Carnivore is so effective for leveling out your average glucose levels. You can lower your blood pressure, losing weight, losing visceral adiposity. All of the markers of metabolic disease can improve with a carnivore diet for most people. There's some people that, like my husband, that their metabolism was messed up and they needed to do a little bit something different. But for most people, they see improvements in all of that stuff. My glucose dropped from averages of 100 down to 80 within a month of carnivore.
Did you feel better?
I mean, I felt like crap the first month, but after I got through the keto flu, I felt better.
and I think that what he was looking for, because if you don't test, you don't know that all those things might be wrong. But when you're eating what you should be eating, probably, you feel better.
In general, Yeah.
That means quality of life
Yeah.
improves.
I think when you're giving the body the appropriate fuels, it's amazing how fast it responds. It wants you to eat the right food because it can then thrive.
Yeah. What's your thoughts? I've got a keto carnivore here on Instagram that's has been 60 days, not losing any weight.
Okay.
Working out 60 to 90 minutes, I think, a day.
Okay.
What's some advice to those of us that want to kind of cut down on some of the fat and lean up a little bit?
So if you've been on carnivore for 60 days, your body is definitely used to it at this point, like your digestive system. At that point, I would probably start playing around with macros. That's just that there's not enough information there for me to really, dive too deep in. But I would say definitely if you're eating dairy, cut it. That's the number one thing you can do to get the scale moving in the right direction. Don't add heavy cream and butter and all that stuff to your coffee. Number two, if that doesn't do anything, I would say don't add extra fat to anything. Don't be piling butter on top of your steaks. Or if you have a lot of weight to lose, you don't need to do that. Your body has the energy on it. Let your body tap into that fat. The third thing I would say is maybe make one meal a day a little bit leaner meat. Not all three, just one. And then that can start moving in the right direction. But without knowing a lot more information, I mean, I don't know. You could also be working out too much. 60 to 90 days of like chronic cardio can be very, very taxing to your system. Your cortisol could be super high. You got to work on your sleep. You got to work on your stress. There's like a lot that goes into it. So that would be my general answer.
One meal a day versus 3 meals a day. And I like the idea of a little leaner meat in the short term because that fat basically is like your body wants to be fat, not skinny, by the way.
Of course. Yeah. That's why it's so hard to lose weight. It's very frustrating biology, but yeah, I think OMAD could be helpful. Every time that you're eating, you're going to have an insulin impact. You got to give your body and your digestive system time to rest. So OMAD could be effective, but it's hard to get enough food for a lot of people on OMAD, especially in the beginning. For us, because we've been on carnivore for a long time, we can eat, but after 60 days, yeah, that's worth a try for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Dr. Gills.
Oh, just another one. Let's see. Back in 2020, average glucose over 180, keto for nearly 2 years, carnivore now over 3 months. My estimated glucose is now 105.
Great.
When can you expect it to less than 100? Well,
estimated?
That's what they wrote, but I don't know what that means.
Okay.
So for that question, wow, vast improvement, 180 to 105. That's amazing. And the thing with glucose levels is they don't exist in a vacuum. You need to look at other things that's going on. If you have a 105 fasting glucose and all of your other numbers are wonderful, you feel good, who cares? You're going to have a range of glucose levels. Like for me, I'm anywhere between 80 to like 100 and probably 100 right now in my fasting glucose levels. It just depends on what's going on. Glucose can be impacted by stress, sleep, heat, cold, what you ate, of course. Exercise, so many things. So I would say just keep monitoring it if it's something that you're concerned with, or maybe do like Kiltz has on his screen, a continuous glucose monitor. So you can get more patterns instead of just one data point. That can be helpful.
I didn't eat for 15 days. My glucose was under 70. It was 45 to 65. My insulin was less than 0.5 whole time. And so, my theory is insulin is a digestive hormone enzyme. Its job is to convert digested glucose, sugars, and amino acids in the liver to fat. You don't eat, your glucose is going to go up. I never saw it above. I was running, walking, weights, working every day.
Yeah.
And it never went above 70. And I was fine.
That's your set point, and it's going to be a little different for everybody when they do a long fast like that.
Well,
his metabolic health is different. He is very different to someone who's not metabolically healthy.
Once you feel the liver.
Yeah. I will say, like, my husband is on a 6-day fast right now, and his glucose levels are the same as yours, Kiltz, when you were on that long fast.
Okay, metabolically and physiologically,
and biologically, we're no different. Human
Right.
beings, every cell I look under a microscope is the same. All right.
Right.
Our dysfunction is mostly related to the damage from the diet, environment, and lifestyle.
Right.
So there's not infinite different metabolic
No, of
pathways.
course.
There's not. And so I think look up hepatogenous diabetes. Hepatogenous diabetes. Everyone with cirrhosis develops type 2 diabetes,
Yeah.
but they're skinny. They're
Yeah,
not fat.
makes sense. Oh yeah, there's lots of skinny people with type 2.
All right, we have a lot of questions. So if can we get to this next one, Jenny?
Yeah.
What do your kids typically eat?
So they are animal based. They eat meat at every single meal. Max does like some fruit. Harry doesn't really like it. And then they will do some like organic grain if they're over at their grandma's or something like that. For the most part, I would say like 95% of the time, whole real foods. Once in a blue moon, we'll do McDonald's. We'll do some chicken nuggets and French fries. They'll have some pasta or something over at their grandma. Sometimes they have bread. My in-laws are Serbian American, so they have a lot of really good Serbian food. But yeah, lots of milk. They drink sparkling water and regular water. We don't do any kind of juice or anything like that. They're very healthy. They're so tall. It's funny because a lot of kids, they'll be playing on the playground and they're so tall that kids think they're older, but then they start talking and they act like a little kid and they're like, people are confused. It's funny.
All right. This is more of a comment than a question. I don't mind walking into a blood clinic and ordering tests, but then reading the results will be good to have somebody that knows.
Yeah. That's the kicker. You know, you can get all these tests done, but if you don't know how to interpret them, that's a problem. I have a ton of blood work videos on my channel. I have an entire playlist of all the different tests that I've done and how to read them. Functional medicine ranges, though, not typical reference ranges. You want to be optimal health ranges. So that's what I focus on.
All right. Suvi? My blood pressure has always been normal and continues to stay that way even in my first non-carnivore pregnancy. My midwife says I should start taking baby aspirin at week 20 to prevent BP complications. Dr. Kills, that's a question for you. Now, if you don't have any blood pressure problems, preventatively taking aspirin after 20 weeks, does that make
if you're healthy, if your inflammation is low and you're carnivore, you shouldn't need to add the aspirin. But I would say in a standard normal diet, adding a baby aspirin may help reduce the risk of pregnancy-induced hypertension and that and the side effects from that, which could be serious. But we haven't proven that, but many people do, which I think that, you know, again, if you're in a carnivore lifestyle, you don't necessarily need it, but if evidence of significant rise in your blood pressure, that's a good start.
Jenny, Chuck asks, do you notice uneven or elevated insulin with starting your days with coffee?
So there's really no way you can test insulin exactly. You know, I think you're more referring to glucose levels, which you can. And no, my glucose is really steady and even on a carnivore diet. I also drink decaf coffee and I don't drink it every day. I've been drinking about once a week now because I'm doing a gut protocol for myself. So no difference. It also depends on what you're putting in the coffee. Are you putting sugar? Are you putting cream? Are you putting butter? Like, what are you doing? You know, but no,
All
nothing
right.
black decaf, like nothing.
Thank you, Ricky Lee, for the super chat. There was no question attached. Hopefully I didn't miss it if you put it in there.
Here's a comment.
Testing becomes obsession. Why are you looking for something to cure? eat healthy, and quit worrying. That's
Sure.
good advice.
You know, if this becomes an obsession for you, it's no longer healthy, and don't do it. The reason I test so much is not because I'm doing it for fun. I'm doing it because I'm doing experiments and I'm doing education on it on YouTube. If I was not doing that, I probably wouldn't test as often. It's expensive. It gets expensive.
Yes, I was doing an N1 experiment this weekend. I'm not going to go into details. It went great on Saturday. It went horrible on Sunday. Pregnancy safe cosmetics. If you're carnivore, you need to make sure your thyroid levels, especially T3 levels, are good and optimal, which is a 3.3 minimum. I don't know which test you're talking about. 3.3 sounds like T3. If not, you're not gonna clear the cholesterol.
I don't know that that's accurate. 3.3. So when you're looking at your T3, you want to be in the upper quadrant of the reference range, but the reference range is going to be different for every lab. And T3 levels are going to do, some adjustment for every person. There's some theories out there that your T3 goes down on carnivore. I don't know that that's true. But I have, I had
the level might go down. The need for the T3 might not. And I think that's the nuanced explanation. But let me make a comment. 40 years of practice. I never treated someone's cholesterol until I knew what the thyroid was and that it was optimized. Because your blood sugars will affect cholesterol numbers. Your thyroid, yes, they will affect cholesterol numbers in general. So thyroid needs to be optimized first before you worry about cholesterol, because your cholesterol numbers might be influenced by the thyroid hormones.
I will also say, though, that I had really low T3 for a long time because of the Hashimoto's. It's now adjusted with medication, but I never had elevated triglycerides. My HDL was always 80 to 100. My LDL was fine. So I didn't have that issue with low T3.
All right. Dr. Nelson, what does your shirt say?
Yeah, I've been curious too.
My wife says I have only two faults: that I don't listen and something else. That's what my shirt says.
I love Nellie. She's awesome.
Bruce Vajour has a question from KMT. My hunger level is depleting unintentionally. I'm OMAD, 1 ribeye steak, 4 egg, fill me up. I'm 5'11", 228. I consume approximately 120 grams of protein. Mornings I drink creatine, collagen, and take 6 beef organ pills. How can I increase my protein?
Eat more meals. Throw in a second meal. I mean, there's no way you can eat it if you're not super hungry. I would break it up. You could also do a protein powder, but I prefer to eat my protein whole.
What's the optimal weight for a 5'11"?
Oh, I don't know. I
don't know either, but
probably like
I'd say
180 to 200. But it also depends on how athletic this person is. Are they full of muscle and 228? That's totally different.
Yeah, don't know. Right.
And 120 grams of protein is kind of low. I mean, that's what I'm eating as a minimum, and I'm 5'6" and 150 pounds. So.
All right. Probably the last one, because we need to do the KMT hashtag KMT for organ blend supplement.
And in the meantime, you're going to hit that question. We'll get the KMT prize, and then we'll get Jenny to tell us quick about her book and when it's coming out and where people can find her.
Yeah. Can you address several of the carnivore promoters switching to very low fat carnivore? That's a loaded question. Go ahead.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I've been doing I've done 4 lipotoxicity videos recently. So a lot of people are talking about this now. Me and Ketogenic Moon were just talking about it. I've seen other people talking about it. Not a single carnivore influencer is talking about low fat carnivore. You're never going to be a low-fat carnivore, even if you lower the fat a little bit. Carnivore is inherently a higher fat diet. So what people are talking about right now is lowering the fat a little bit. And there's reasons why you would want to do that. If you have a lot of extra weight on your body and you've been doing a standard high-fat carnivore diet and you're not losing weight and your metabolic health is declining, that's a really good indicator that you should lower the dietary fat a little bit. But you're still going to be at minimum 50% fat, 50% protein. I mean, I've been doing a little bit lower fat carnivore and I'm still like 65% fat, 35% protein. The key is just don't add butter to everything. If you have 100 pounds to lose and you're not losing weight on carnivore, stop adding heavy cream and butter to everything. Eat just the fat that's on your meat. Switch out one meal a day to be leaner, a leaner cut of meat. That's it. But no one is promoting a low-fat carnivore. It doesn't exist.
All right.
And
Let's
love yourself.
That too. That's important.
Love the person in the mirror. Critical. And Jenny, when's your book coming out and where can people find it?
All right. So my book is coming out on November 4th. It's called Complete Carnivore. Susie.
Yay.
Susie, email Alia at drkiltz.com. Spelled out, the doctor word spelled out. Alia at drkiltz.com with your information for a bottle of the organ blend.
Yum.
Supplement. So go ahead, Jenny. And
the book is called Complete
What is
Carnivore.
the book about?
So the book is a complete in-depth guide to the carnivore diet along with 80 carnivore recipes. So I see it as the encyclopedia of the carnivore diet. It basically will take beginners all the way through the process of getting started. I have an entire chapter on troubleshooting, which is what all of us are always trying to do, you know, with these comments and questions. I have an entire chapter that has taken all of the stuff I've learned from my viewers and from my research and lays that out. I have an entire chapter on monitoring your progress. So all of the things that I've learned about blood work, DEXA scans, continuous glucose monitoring, ketones, all the scans and stuff. The entire chapter is in there so you can know what your functional ranges should be and how to interpret these blood tests, because you can get the test, but if you don't know how to interpret them, it's not going to help. So that's the whole first half of the book. It's like 250 pages. And then the second half is 80 carnivore recipes. So this will help to provide some variety to your carnivore diet if you're getting bored with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And I see this book as something that any carnivore of any length of time can have on their shelf and get value from it. Somebody that's just starting, get a lot of value from you know, all the information on getting started and how to avoid all the mistakes that we all made in the beginning of carnivore. And then people that have been on carnivore for years will find a lot of value in the recipes and in the monitoring your progress and the troubleshooting chapters. So yeah, it's very meaty. I'm very happy with it. And it is actually starting to go to print today. So November 4th is the release date. Dr. Kiltz was so gracious to write the foreword for my book. Thank you so much.
Love it.
I love you to death. And yeah, so excited. I'm going to be doing a book signing and a cooking demo at Hack Your Health in November. So be sure to get your tickets for that so you can hang out with all of us because we're going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. When do we got Bill Knott coming on? Yeah. We got Bill Knott coming on one of our morning shows. We got to get Bill on. He's going to be a Hack Your Health also, by the way. And
good. I want to meet him. I haven't met him in person yet.
We're all excited about it. So, Bill, we look forward to getting you on the show here soon. And everyone, thank you, Dr. Nelson, always. Jenny Mitich, thank you for being such an inspiration for so many of us, helping everyone take control and own their health care. And that's what this is about. We're not waiting for the government or anyone else to fix it. Yep. We have to take control and fix our own, guide our own lives in a direction of healthcare. So,
yep. If you don't do it for yourself, no one else is going to do it.
Nobody.
5 o'clock, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, our Zoom call. And
who's on?
I think it's Dr. Seyfried. I'm not 100% sure.
Let me see. I got a note here. Let's see here. Matt Helfer.
Okay, so it's not today. Yeah.
Today.
All right.
Santa Gorin and the kids.
I will for sure. Good to talk to you guys.
All right, nice talking to you. Bye, Al.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.